Greetings, this is Erodo Jumbo. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to use an Android device as a USB microphone on Linux. For my use case, obviously it's OBS Studio. Now, this is brought to you by ojamboservices.com for all your programming needs, including custom Android development. So the reason I wanted to do this was because I recently did, literally just yesterday, I did a live stream that was just under 2 hours. What I noticed is when I was editing that video is that the first hour everything was fine. It's actually a headset plugged into USB port. Everything was fine. And I noticed around about an hour and 20 minutes there was some weird sounds. It felt like maybe there was an echo. And so I looked in the settings, everything seemed fine. I didn't even touch the microphone because I was just talking, I was actually programming. So I was very disappointed with that. So I wanted to get a different microphone, and I realized my phone, like my current driver, it actually has a pretty good microphone even though it's on a phone. So what I did is when I was testing this setup for this tutorial today, I noticed that I got really good audio. For example, yesterday was a little bit cold. The heater, the furnace came on. Even right now, you see the heater is actually run right now. And yesterday also the workstation, the GPU and the CPU fans were on, so it was pretty loud. And when I played back the audio, I was surprised how I guess the noise cancellation automatically you couldn't hear the furnace or the fans. And because I have it on a desktop, I'm in a place where I have wooden floor, so the vibrations, you couldn't even hear them. Even when I was holding the phone in front of my face, it was really, really good. And when I put it down a little bit farther away, I was typing on the keyboard, I was really surprised that it worked pretty well. So you guys can, the test is actually right now, I'm actually using this. I'm using the microphone. The microphone I'm using to record this video is actually coming from my phone. And right now it's something different. The phone is actually pointed away, the microphone is actually pointed away from me, so it's even further away than when I was testing yesterday. And just from this playback from the live stream is actually very, very good. So I'm impressed with that. Okay, so I'm going to use a software called Audio Source. It is open source. I'll explain that when we get to the bottom a little bit. So what you need for this is, remember, this is for Linux. It says right there in the title. Some people ignore that. It's actually for Linux. So what you need is, you obviously need an Android device. It could be a tablet or I think there were even some laptops in the past, or they still are. But it needs to be an Android device. So most likely a phone. So I was going to recommend having a stand, but you actually don't need one. It works extremely well without the stand. What you do need, you do need to enable USB debugging. Obviously, that also means you also need to have the developer options of Android device. All Android devices have usually you go to about and you click 7 times or 8 times, and that will enable your developer options. You go in there and you enable USB debugging. So with USB debugging, once you plug in the cable, USB cable to your workstation, you'll be able to use the ADB, that's the Android debug bridge, that's needed to for this software to work. So it's two pieces of software. One is actually installed on the Android device, and I'll show you how to do that. There's 2 ways to do that, and the other one is just a script that you run on your workstation. So I tested this on my Samsung Galaxy S21 FE/FG, but this Sony Xperia XA1 Ultra, I think this should also work. I'll test it after this tutorial, and I'll post back the quality of that one as well, because obviously this is my daily driver. So for example, if this one is working, like I'm using it for work, like I'm expecting calls, I don't want to do this also for the live stream or recording as a recorder as well. I'm actually curious what would happen if, for example, the phone rings right now, or for example, I know it definitely picked up when this live stream played a little bit, so I'm just curious what would happen, like if the phone rings at the same time, if they conflict. We'll find that out in the future. Okay, so once you plug in so you can download the ADB tool for Android. It's part of the SDK platform tools, so you can get that from this link, and then you simply just download it, put it somewhere. And I'm not going to talk about paths because that's pretty easy. It's also pretty easy to do on Linux. So you do need that. You need to put in a path so that the script can find the location. So once you install on your phone, it will look like this. Once it won't have this little icon on top of it. That icon comes in once you use once you run the script. So if you can see here, when I downloaded the script yesterday, first thing I made it writable. So it's change mode. Let me zoom in here so you guys can see a little bit better. Yeah, there we go. So you can see here, I just changed I made it executable. That's what the X stands for. And then after that, I just ran it. I ran the command line, and then see some of the commands here. So the one we're most interested in are these two. This last two, to run and volume. So in my case, I just did run, and it works fine. But if you want to increase the volume, so for example, if you want to increase it to above 100%, you just put the percentage. This actually uses pulse audio, but I actually I'm using Pipewire because I'm using Fedora. So it does work because Pipewire does have a Pipewire pulse audio. So if you don't wanna use the path for your Android, so there are ways you can do export temporarily, and that you can run. But I just did it. So when I ran it yesterday, it couldn't find ADB. So what I did was so what I did is I put it in my batch RC file, and then I ran source. So source can run without having to reboot the system. So obviously, because I rebooted overnight, now it should. I don't need to. It will be able to find it, and I'll prove that to you in a command line later. So then you see, I just hit run. And then this is what happened. It will run this, and then when this is running here, it says starting intent, and then it says forwarding audio. So then this will happen on the phone. You get this little icon here to show you that it's actually working. So this is literally all it does. And then in my on my desktop, when I'm using GNOME, so when I go to my GNOME settings under sound. I will show you the live one. So you see, you get under input, it will say Android. So this is the one, and then you can see you can set the volume here as well. And then of course, this is a shot of OBS Studio because I'm using Pipewire. You can see here as audio input. I will show you also my OBS in a second. So this is here. Just a quick reminder, subscribe, like, comment for more frequent content. And just a quick reminder that every day I do have a live stream. You scroll down on ojambo.com to the footer, and you'll see all the channels. Okay, so I want to show you today. So this is the command line. So I'm going to zoom in here so you can see what I did. So for today, see I can run ADB without having to, because it's already on my batch RC. So ADB devices, and it says list devices. So this is the one. So you can tell from previous tutorials that this is a USB connection. So it's unauthorized. It says unauthorized because a pop-up comes up on your device which will ask you for the permission. So for example, hopefully this shouldn't break anything. ADB Android debug and devices. And you see now it says device. That's because I approved it on the device, so it says device before it says unauthorized. So that's that. I can actually close that. That's no longer needed. And this is what is actually run when I ran this command earlier today. So you can see the same, just like the screenshot. See, it says it's forwarding the audio. Let me zoom in here. And yeah, see, all I did was audio source run, and you see it's pulse audio module, and then waiting for device, starting audio device, blah, 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 all this stuff, the main activity, then it says forwarding audio. That's it. So literally, if you notice, this is in my downloads folder, and I'll prove it to you right here. You see, it's right in the downloads folder. Okay, and now I'm going to show you my GNOME settings, the audio. So you see one in the back. This is the live one. You see it says input, and this is my I see sound input device Android. So you see down here I have another one, which is the this is the webcam. It's an external webcam, so I'm not using that one. So this is the one I'm using, and I believe it's a better quality. So just to prove to you, so what I'm going to do now, if you notice this here, I think it'll be better to do it in I'll show you in OBS Studio. So you see OBS Studio here. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to turn on my desk heating fan, and just to see if there's any noise, it'll pick up the noise. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So I don't know if you can hear that. So I'm being quiet. You can hear it. So I'll put it on high. So it's actually very good. I'm switching it off now. I'm gonna do some I think I did some typing. Oh yeah, I did some typing, so you could have heard that when I was typing the ADB devices. So as I said, the microphone is actually away now. I'm gonna pick it up. I'm going to pick up the phone and put it towards my face. So that's towards my face, and that's on the bottom right where the mic is. And I'm putting back down so it's facing away from me, and that's actually pretty good. So it's a very good quality, as you can tell. And you remember when we started this tutorial, the heater, the furnace came on, and again, it did very good job with the noise cancellation. So you couldn't even hear that the heater was on. So that's very good. And I think that's about it for microphone. So what I did here is I muted this is OBS Studio. So what I did is I muted the desktop audio, because sometimes if there's a delay, it will play it, and then it will be a little echo. Same with the microphone auxiliary here. So I muted that and just use Pipewire. So Pipewire settings, if we go to here, we go to properties, there should be a couple of them. See, it says default. I see this webcam on the Android. So I leave that default because Pipewire is smart enough. And of course, you can also do the usual stuff, the gains and all that type. So go to advanced, you see, you can add gains and all this type of monitoring on and off. This is the one, Pipewire one here. So right now it's just right in the middle. So that's nothing you can do. So that's basically it. So this is a nice little tool, and it's OBS away from here. And yeah, so that's it. And this is the video watching live. So as I was saying, it is open source, licensed under the MIT license, allows redistribution, and obviously consult license for more specific details. So just remember, I promised. So we go to the GitHub page here. You see, this is the source, and you see it's under the MIT license, and explains what it does, what audio source does. So if you look down here, it's for Linux. You need to have a device with at least Android 4.0. API level 14. So my older phone that's no longer support, that one has Android 8. So now this would work, and it says it's been tested to Android, fully tested on Android 10. My current device, the Samsung, it has the latest Android, so you can see it does work on the latest Android as well. And you obviously you need Linux. Obviously, as I said before, you need to get the SDK platform tools. That's because that's where ADB, and it says you have to put it in the path, and then Pulse Audio or Pipewire with Pulse Audio support. So obviously I already have this, and Python 3. So as you know, I'm a programmer, I already have Python. I think it actually comes by default anyway. So then what you need to do is you need to install the APK that's on the Android device, and then you download the script. So you notice I showed you earlier, I have the script in my downloads folder, that's why I'm running this. And you see all you need to do is you need to make it executable. And then you can get it on, so there's two ways where you can get the APK file. You can get it from GitHub, you see from the releases, or you can build your own. I just installed it from F-Droid. Here are instructions how to build and install, but you can get it from F-Droid. This is what I did, I just got it from here. Obviously the latest version is 1.2, and that came out in on September 25th, 2024. So there we go. And I said this works extremely well. I'm literally using it right now. So the author is GDZX, and again it's the MIT license. And I said I didn't have any issues with this, so this could be it's very viable, and I do like this. I do like this app, so I think I might continue using this app. So that's it for the yeah. So I said this. So for just in case, you go to releases here, and you just click on it, and as you can see, you can get the APK here, and you can get the audio source. So the audio source, this is the script. The latest one which I have came out on December 18, 2024, and the APK, as we saw, it was actually ready on September 21, 2024. So, and then you can obviously do the SHA. If you don't know what this is, I can do a future tutorial. Basically, this is a way to confirm that these files have not been modified. I think I actually did a video of how to do that in the past, but I can make another one. Okay, so so there we go. So if anybody needs, let me actually do one more thing here. I need to open up a terminal somewhere. I just want to show you guys how to. So I'm going to go to my home folder, and I'll just say nano. I think it's bash rc. Okay, let me. I just want to show. Oh, I think that's big enough. Okay, so if I scroll down here, so you see here, this is how you add a path. It's just export path equals /home. This is the folder where the platform tools have been installed. So that's it. So if you that's all you need to do. And then I said you can reboot your system or type source and bash rc and .bash rc, and that's another way to get the path, because that's actually needed. If you remember from here, let's go back to the audio source. You see, you need what's the path? Yeah, you see, ADB has to be in the path. That will allow you to do things like this. You see where I am? I'm in the whole folder now. I can just type ADB and I type devices as an example, and you see it will work. You don't have to literally be in that folder for things to find the ADB. Okay. So one more time, if you just a second. So subscribe, like, follow, and leave comments for more frequent content. Quick reminder that every day I'll be hosting a live stream. Visit ojambo.com for details. You scroll down to the footer to see the different channels. If you enjoyed this, consider supporting me. Purchase one of my WordPress plugins at ojambo.com. Enroll my programming courses at ojamboshop.com. Buying my programming books on Amazon, search for Edward Ojambo, links in the description. You can hire me for your programming and app development needs at ojamboservices.com. And you can also become a donor. You simply go to ojambo.com/donate, or you can also find it here in the header. Let me zoom out of here back to normal view. Yeah, and as I promised, if you scroll all the way down to the footer, you see the channels. There's Odyssey, Rumble, BitChute, and YouTube. So that's it, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.